Which wide receiver guys do you take first in fantasy this year? Michael Thomas, Odell, Julio Jones, DeAndre Hopkins.
I'll take your PPR answer first.
You don't even have the right answer.
No, you don't.
Okay, when that is?
Davante Adams.
But if I'm going to answer the poll,
Yes.
it's Hopkins.
Yeah.
But I would agree with my co-host here that Davante Adams has the safest floor and the highest ceiling. I mean, you've got a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that's, several years in a row is averaging 40 touchdowns a season. He's the clear number one. Jordy Nelson back in the day was often the number one wide receiver. And, I think Davante Adams, sky's the limit.
Even if it's standard, not PPR?
Oh, even more so for standard, because he doesn't get the reception total that Adams or that Hopkins is going to see. But
right.
He's just it's so consistent, and that's the difference. Where even if Adams finishes at 2 or 3,
yes,
it's not just the end of the season ranking that's important for these wide receivers. How are they doing on a week-to-week basis? Because there's some guys at the end of the year they'll jump into the top 10, but 40% of the time you were bummed out that you started them.
So I'm in a league, let's say I'm in a league, 10 teams, and it's a snake draft, and I'm sitting there 5 or 6, right? So I know people are going to throw their lot in with a bunch of running backs. Somebody might even take Mahomes because don't
do that.
We'll get to that in a second. I'm just throwing that all out there. And every wide receiver is available. I'm going Davante Adams, and that's what you suggest every single Rich Eisen Show listener and viewer to do. Yes,
that's what I would do. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would probably go David Johnson there, or still a running back over if you're at 5 or 6.
Yes.
I'm probably not taking a wide receiver until a little bit later, but the first wide receiver off the board, I would be taking Davante Adams.
First overall is Saquon?
For me, it's Christian McCaffrey.
For me, after he reports, it's Zeke. But, right now, a tiebreaker, Saquon's a great option.
The looks, by the way, you guys are looking at me like I'm crazy for throwing this out there. So Christian McCaffrey in year 3 for you is the number 1 overall draft choice in a fantasy draft. Anybody
that
who's
is correct.
listening in the sound of my voice or watching has a first overall pick in a draft. Based on you, Mike Wright, and you, Jason Moore of the Footballers Podcast.
Well,
Fantasy Footballers
I'm
Podcast.
McCaffrey and he's Zeke.
Okay.
So
you're saying McCaffrey.
yes.
And you say Zeke.
I say Zeke after he reports.
But what if he reports, last week of September, and you have your draft in early August?
Yeah,
what happens then?
If you're drafting before there's clarity to that situation, there's no reason to take Zeke over the other big 3, which would be Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, and Alvin Kamara.
But Zeke's not going to turn into Lev Bell this year. I mean, I can't imagine that happens.
Well, he can, because Zeke, once Amari Cooper came, Zeke was on pace for almost the same reception.
I think he's by
and
holding
target.
out the whole year.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's not.
Certainly.
That's why
He doesn't
I'm
have the
saying.
leverage.
That's why I'm saying that it's still somewhat safe if he hasn't reported in late August. Your fantasy league is in late August. So many people last year just said, "Screw it, I'm taking Lev Bell anyway."
Right.
And many of them finished in last place in their fantasy leagues.
Yeah, Lev Bell was a rough situation last year, especially when reports from him and his camp were he's going to show up and play, and
Not so much.
Yeah, but the thing with Zeke, like if he's showing up late,
Yes.
I mean we want his body getting acclimated to all those hits that he's going to take. So, like you said, when you were at the beginning of the first round, we've seen running backs come in late to training camp and then they get that hamstring early.
What's your philosophy on Todd Gurley?
Oh goodness.
It's not good. I have a really hard time pulling the trigger on Gurley. What they're saying is great, but what they've done, what the Rams have done, you look at their moves. Obviously, you saw his utilization in the Super Bowl game once he was back in the playoffs. But then they trade up, they draft another running back, they match the tender given to Marlon,
Brown.
Yeah, to Brown, and so it's one of those things where they can say he's still their guy, but every move they've made, follow the money, we say. That's where you can actually see what a team believes and cut through the fluff. And the money says they are worried about Todd Gurley. So I'm worried if you're talking about into the first round.
Yes.
If he drops into the second, I still think he can be productive with an Alvin Kamara type of workload. But I'm not taking him in the first.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.